What is up, NFL fans? It's your boy Kevin Phillip Fox. I'm here with my partner in crime from down under, Mr. Adrian Ravito. Adrian, how the hell are you, my friend?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm surprised you said fantastic because I personally have been just horrible all week. I've been choking back tears. Diehard Bills fan, for those of you who don't know. Adrian's a diehard Packers fan.
Make it to you, make it, baby.
We're both
I am
absolutely. You know what? Yeah, you have less of a reason to be sad than I do, but we'll get into it. Last but not least, before we move on, we have our boy from NFL Stats, Mr. Himmy Ray himself, Jimmy Ray. How the hell
What's
are you?
up? I'm doing better than you guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, you had this Band-Aid ripped off weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm already. I mean, the season's been over for me for like 2-3 weeks now, so I'm
It's
just
already
chilling.
processed.
I'm straight
already
chilling.
filed.
Yeah.
You're moving on to like other things that you have to process, like other
Yeah, no
different problems.
expectations. Backup quarterback. I mean, we're good, man.
Dude,
Armand, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. J Ray, that's my official nickname, so I appreciate that.
I prefer Himmy Ray, but J Ray's not bad.
Well, that's unofficial.
Armand,
so
showing love to the boys as he always does. Although I do have to say, Armand, I haven't forgiven you for last week. I think your negative juju, your negative intentions that you put towards my team, cost them the win. So
playing the blame game.
It's Armand's fault and nobody else's.
Okay.
But no, we got a lot to talk about. We got divisional round breakdowns. Two out of the 4 games in particular are hit very close to home for us, as you already know. And then we can touch on all the games, and there's a bunch of coaching news, a bunch of NFL honors news, really, really wild stuff going on in the NFL. It's kind of a peak NFL news time right now, going down the stretch. You'd love responsibility for this, Armand. It's I'm not gonna let you have it. It wasn't Armand's fault. It was nobody's fault, but
he's wearing it with pride.
Nobody's fault, but we'll talk about it.
DeMar Hamlin.
Too soon. So my friends, Adrian, you run this show. Where are we starting with today?
We're starting with the divisional round, so we're starting right where we're talking about right here. And we can maybe start with the Bills if you want to kick it off.
I'd be happy to, man. Yeah, I'd be happy to band it off. So the Buffalo Bills lost to the Kansas City Chiefs for the 3rd time in 4 years in the playoffs, 27-24. Tyler Bass missed a game-tying field goal from 44 yards out with less than 2 minutes remaining, and the rest is history. It was a very good game. You both watched it, I'm sure. You both were dialed into your TVs. All the viewers, I'm sure. Phenomenal back and forth. What you come to expect from Allen and Mahomes. Ultimately, Mahomes did end up getting the better of Allen. The Chiefs' offense kind of felt inevitable in that game. It was very, very frustrating to see how easily they marched up and down the field on Buffalo. Very easy to acknowledge and point to the defensive injuries that Buffalo were experiencing. They were on their 4th, 6th, and 7th corners, their 5th, 6th, and 7th linebackers. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Travis Kelce had a field day. Chiefs ran all over the Bills, and I think the Bills showed a wonderful time being resilient all year, and it was no different in this game. They could have packed it up and folded after the 4th and 5 direct snap to DeMar Hamlin, which did not get converted, but they didn't. They forced a turnover. They forced a punt. They got the ball back. And with 2 minutes left in that game on a 2nd and 9 from the Chiefs' 25-yard line, I thought the Bills were going to win the game. I felt extremely confident that the Bills were going to win the game. A lot of people are going to point to the decision Josh made to go for the end zone on 2nd and 3rd down. On 2nd down, he had Khalil Shakir wide open in the back of the end zone. He got bumped into by his offensive tackle, forced an errant throw. And on 3rd down, the open receivers that everybody's going to want to screen grab and show you were across the field and out of his vision. So I'm not mad at him for those decisions. Plus, he trusted his kicker. He did what everybody told him to do. He didn't put the ball in harm's way, and it didn't work out. I'm licking my wounds right now, guys. Devastated. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys thought about that game.
I can feel your pain, Kevin.
Yeah.
I can literally feel your pain because I know the feeling of losing to the same team in the playoffs 3 runs in a row.
Yeah.
But damn, man, I have to say, I was devastated when the Packers lost, and I'll get to that in a sec. But I really felt this one. I felt like this was the year. I know it's always this is the year, but this was the year that Allen was just going to be like, all right, the narrative's done. I
Yeah.
can beat Mahomes in the playoffs, and that sucked, man. It felt like when the Hamlin snap went bad or the play went bad, it felt like, oof, it's getting a little
Yeah.
hot in here. Is this going to be
Yeah.
one of those days where the ball goes their way?
Yeah.
And what is so frustrating about the Chiefs is you spend so long like talking about them through the season. Oh, their offense is not going to make it, and then it's like postseason, forget it all. And I on this show maybe 2 weeks ago said, quote unquote, everyone's talking about throughout the regular season. No, you can't. But actually, you can when it's the Chiefs. Like you kind of can. Kelsey came to life. I'm just looking at the stats. Pacheco went for nearly 100. 70 for 23 from Mahomes. Like, even MVS, like 2 for 62. Where's he been all year? Dropping balls left, right, and center, and then he just comes and delivers when they need it.
And those catches he made weren't gimmies. They weren't easy catches.
No, and I mean, look, even we love. It's hard to talk about a Chiefs player and talk about love, but we love Rashid Rice on this show.
Oh, of
He's the
course,
real
he's
deal,
amazing.
and he's been killing it, and
Great player.
47, yeah. So it's just it's painful, and I think they still were going to need to address they're going to need to address their wide receiver room in the offseason. And I think that might, surely it's going to come to roost against Baltimore. I don't want to jinx it, but it's a painful loss, man. And I feel
it was nice to see. It was nice to see Shakir catch some solid passes, though.
Love Shakir.
Yeah, so you got to show some love for that. But it did feel like I was watching like 50 first dates. Like the Bills and Chiefs going at it yet again. I know. I mean, I know, man. It's just like
real.
That's what makes it so much tougher because he's like, okay, it's like eventually the Bills will win against it. And I do like Josh Allen played lights out in my opinion. I feel like he played amazingly as best as he could, honestly.
Yeah.
But I wanted to come in here and just like give you guys some motivation maybe that you guys are like looking for. All it takes is one run, right? So like if you have Josh Allen, then you're always going to be in it. So like no matter like Matt Stafford, like a few years ago, it was like, oh, this dude doesn't have a ring. He's just like he's a gunslinger, but he can't do it. Eventually, I think Josh Allen will get his ring. So I just want to let you know that I think he'll make the run eventually. I think he'll triumph over Mahomes eventually. It just once again, it's not meant to be, but. I think there's a long road ahead with Josh Allen. I think you guys are in good hands. So
I appreciate it, man, and I want to echo your sentiment. I think that's something that's going to really help me is like encouraging stuff like that. It's similar for me as well because this whole Manning and Brady thing that Mahomes and Allen has turned into, I love it and I think it's cool. I want the Bills to be in a position where they're the exciting team, they're the rivalry team. I talked about the bad boy Pistons and MJ, unfortunately, if he is MJ, it's not now. I think the only difference between the Mahomes and Allen thing that are the Manning Allen comparisons that I want to address is there were some really weird cosmic things. I don't know if you guys saw the Schefter tweet, but it was the third time in the playoffs that Manning and Brady played that Manning beat Brady for the first time. And it was actually 17 years to the day that it happened.
It's crazy.
And Josh Allen was number 17. So I was like bet on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Like it's happening. It didn't happen. It is what it is. But you're right, Jimmy. The important thing is
playing with fire here, my friend.
Yeah, that's okay. I still love you, Armand.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
No,
man.
Listen. What we call that is it's copium. When you need to tear other people down with you to make yourself feel better. Armand's just sipping on that copium. He was not even a thought when the Jets won their last Super Bowl, so I don't really care about
None of us were, man. None of us were.
Says. So no offense. So
all offense.
But you're right, Jimmy. Offense. You're right, Jimmy. It's really important to note that well, first of all, it was Manning's 9th season when he did it, and Allen's going into his 7th.
Yeah, as a Colts fan, I 100% get it. Like Manning, he should have had a lot more Super Bowls, and I can't hold my head on that though because I mean the Colts had one, so at least there's that.
Yeah,
I don't know playoffs as a Jets.
I appreciate
you. He just
Armand.
doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it.
He's just humbling himself. We're all rolling around in the mud together. Let's just be.
Armand, just send the news and we'll be good to go. That's all you need to worry about right now.
Drop your.
Armand. I got to tell you though, because and here's a bit of the bathrobe exposing. Anyone watching this show, when you see Kevin Phillip Fox on this show, you're meeting the real Kevin. This is what he's like. Less a few curse words maybe, but from my experience, this is what he's like. right? And what he's like is no fangs. He's just all love, no fangs. But as soon as you mention the Bills, this, like I remember once I had the audacity to mention Stephon Diggs might not be on the team, and like I swear I saw the devil in his eyes.
Attacked him, yeah. No, and you're right. It's a weird button that I have. There's a few things. There's like a few buttons that I have that if you press them, I will light up. Was that what you were gonna say before when I
that was my can I?
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut you off, but I feel I guess if we were to talk about it anymore, just maybe X's and O's. Yeah, Allen was phenomenal. Love to see Diggs get more involved in one of these elimination games. It's a little mysterious. I think Gabe Davis is as good as gone. I think the Bills are going to eat their medicine on a couple really good players this offseason, and that's going to be really sad. But at the end of the day, every single year that I've been a Bills fan, since the Allen years, 19, 20, 21, 22, everybody wants to make every year feel like it's the window closing. Everybody wants to make it feel like every year it's their best shot at a title. This was their best shot. And they've given different reasons as to why. Brandon Beane is not going to let it happen. Sean McDermott's not going to let it happen, and Josh Allen's not going to let it happen. This wasn't their best shot to win a ring. They were, I would say, above average at best at times this year. I don't think this was the team. I think they're going to get better.
Really you said like you can't talk about injuries and stuff. You can talk about injuries to an extent because like X's and O's wise, like you guys had so many players off on the defensive side of the ball, and eventually you guys held them a little bit in the first quarter and stuff. But once they got rolling, it's like your defense just get gassed, and it's like what are we doing here? You know. But I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you what you felt about McDermott right now, like what his seat is at, like temperature wise, like if he's next season he has to like make a Super Bowl, like where is he at?
I think room temperature.
So he's still in the middle right now.
Not cold at all by any stretch. Like, cold is like he's good. He's got at least a couple years. Not hot, not probably being hot. I don't think he was in danger of losing his job really ever, but especially not once they went on that run.
That's funny.
And that's perfect. Oh my God.
Warm-baked cookie.
Come on, man.
Warm-baked cookie, but it's been sitting out for 20 minutes. It's not gooey anymore. So
sounds good, dude.
Yeah, and just really quick, I think the last thing I want to say about the game is I don't hate the decision to go for it on that 4th and 5. If it works, he's a genius. Sorry.
Correct. Agreed.
Did you like the play call?
I saw a really funny tweet where somebody said McDermott thought this was a Disney movie.
And that I saw that actually.
That cracked me up. So
I saw the video. I saw a video. Someone thought this was DeMar Hamlin, like a little kid running through everybody to score the touchdown. I was like, that's insane, man.
I thought they would do. I saw that.
That's funny when it doesn't hurt your body and soul to think about, but yeah, it's still hilarious.
You'll laugh at it later, maybe.
I think so. We do have a couple more games, but the most important one is Mr. Adrian Revito. I'm so sorry about your Green Bay Packers, man. Do you want to take us through loser lane?
Yeah, I will. And so like I said, I know that pain. We've lost to the 49. Like, you know what it is? I was very happy to be where we were because you never expected to even go to the dance. But then when we got to this game and we sort of, as we're progressing through the quarters, and for the first three and a half quarters, Green Bay were winning that game. You tell me what you want. They were outplaying the 49ers. And then to lose, you kind of give up all hope until you've got it again. And then hope is a terrible thing because when it's taken away, it friggin' sucks, man. So through that game, my emotions, and if there's a few people that might be watching today that were there watching the game with me, I was like not talking to the people on my table because I was like, no, leave me alone. I'm watching the game.
Literally.
Yeah. So it was, anyway, but to the actual game, not just my emotions. It was a good game. Purdy didn't play great. And if he plays like that this week, I think the Lions might make him pay for it. The Packers were finding people open all day, and Jordan Love was playing really well for 3.5 quarters. In fact, up until that last throw, you couldn't have asked more from Jordan Love. And then he just kind of morphed back into that Jordan Love we saw at the middle of the season, where he forces the ball, puts it up for grabs a little bit, and he paid the price. Acknowledged it in presser after, just saying like you can't, you don't do that across the middle of the field and try and force it. And he, he'll learn from it and grow. The future is bright, and I know that's the thing that's gone around. It's like, well, the future is bright. But here's the thing: the Super Bowl or the playoffs, you never know. The future has been bright for Cincinnati since they made the Super Bowl, and then now what's going on? Like, not to say that it's gone,
same with Buffalo.
You don't. Yeah, correct. You don't know if you're going to be back there. So It sucks, man, but I am really excited to see what Jordan Love becomes. I am marginally nervous. The rumor is they're looking to make him up there in the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, and it wouldn't be the first time we've seen someone dominating them regress, right? So I'm nervous. That's all I'm going to say. On the 49ers side of the ball, they played amazing on defense. They really I feel like there was a few stops that kind of held up this game. There was a fourth and inches where I'm pretty sure Dre Greenlaw came in and just clocked Jordan Love on a quarterback sneak. Got a pretty poor spot on that, but it is what it is and stopped the ball. So I think it was the Packers losing the game, not the 49ers winning.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, I think the Packers had like 3 red zone trips to start the game, and then they only got 2 field goals.
Yeah.
So that was really tough. But they had some good like special teams plays, punt return.
Keyshawn Nixon's
yeah, absolutely.
So
and the blocked kick, I believe, too. So I mean,
yeah.
There was some hope there, but you have to execute when you're in the red zone against the 49ers. I mean, that's just a must. I mean, they had the special teams plays. They just didn't have the offensive kind of prowess that we've seen in weeks past. But they got it like 100-yard Niners, first time that the 49ers let up 100-yard rusher in like 51 games, which was
insane.
Just bonkers, man. Yeah, I saw that. I was like 51. I feel like we hadn't heard about that enough, just in my head. But I mean that.
Yeah. No, I gotta give you a lot of credit though, Age. Like your mindset is great and you have a really good attitude about it. I genuinely think that it would have hurt so much less if they had gotten their doors blown off like we all thought they were going to.
Agreed.
100%. I could not, because watching the game, I'm not gonna lie to you, I am much more of an eye test guy than I am an X's and O's guy. Don't get me wrong, I watch my tape, I do my analytics, yada yada, but I really like field and game flow. Like that's really what I base a lot of my takes on. I felt like the Packers couldn't lose that game. Like Love was dealing, it felt like, moving the ball against a good defense. Jordan Love, kind of ever since that KC game, he's turned this corner where if he like winds up and chucks the ball, you are expecting there to be somebody to catch it. And until really the last freaking play, and I'll say the last series, because he threw a couple near miss picks on the plays leading up to it, I recall, correct? He was kind of a little bit reckless with the ball on that series. But man, the fact that it was that close, what were they on the 40 something? It wasn't even third down.
No, yeah, he didn't have to force it across like that. And I think
first down?
It was first, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was first down.
Yeah, he did not need to do that. I think, you know what? I think part of that might be a maturity thing as well. You know, you're going on the game-winning drive, divisional round champion. Like it's the first time there. Nerves might have got the better of him, or like that. You know, wanting to play hero ball. So I keep saying it, and I keep saying it with just a little bit of like hesitation that the future is bright, and he will be good, I believe. But it's that sort of stuff that you don't want this to become your new narrative that you can't deliver at much time. I know he's won a playoff game already. I understand that, but like a lot of people will point to that Dallas game and say Dallas lost the game and they laid a complete egg. So, anyway, it is what it is.
No, you guys did a wonderful job against Dallas, and you guys did a wonderful job against SF. I thought you looked like the better team. Josh did that kind of stuff his rookie second. Let's be real. We've seen Josh do that stuff this year. So, it's a normal trait of a gunslinging playmaking quarterback. And it seems like Love is more of a gunslinger than he is a game manager. So I personally myself would prefer those types. I think Favre was like that. So I wouldn't be too upset if I were you.
Favre was the mirror of that town, actually.
Literally. The top 5 thing, the top 5 QB money thing is, I was talking about this on my other podcast. It's just a tough pill to swallow, but it's just what has to be done. That's the going rate. He's a really good player. You don't want to be in quarterback purgatory. You don't want to be fighting and scrapping and clawing for other teams' backups.
What is beautiful about it, and I'll just say this, and then we're already at 20 minutes, so we'll move on. Is that he's got such a young core around him that you can it's not going to hurt too much to pay him because you're paying your peanuts to your receivers. So they still got pieces around him. They'll probably have to restructure Aaron Jones. A couple of defensive pieces they might have to restructure. But look, we'll see. I think that it's not going to crush them too much yet. But in a couple of years, if they haven't gotten over that hump, you're going to find some of these receivers coming up to free agency, and they will get paid because they've been delivering since rookie years.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Jimmy, why don't you take the lead on the other two games? If you have any quick thoughts on those, like what your opinions were or takes on from those other two games?
Yeah, I mean the Bucks Lions was a tremendous game as well. Obviously, the
Such a good
Lions
game.
So good.
came out on top, but I guess we'll talk about the Lions a little bit later too. But Baker Mayfield didn't play bad. I mean, he had some missteps here and there with a couple of picks, but he balled out a little bit. It was just I picked the Lions and I did think they would win. There's the Lions' prowess on offense. I guess I used prowess again, but I mean their rookie class just shows up again. Sam Laporta I feel like every time he was just in the middle of the field catching the ball, and I was like, okay. Then Jahmyr Gibbs had like 100 yards from scrimmage, catching the ball, get the touch. But it was, I mean, it was a game going back and forth until I think the fourth quarter when they kind of blew it open at the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. So they were going toe to toe, but that was crazy. And then the Ravens. I mean, unless you guys want to talk about the Bucks Lions real quick.
All I'll say is I put some money on Laporta over 4.5 receptions, and he had that by the first quarter. Or sorry, he's on 4 by the first quarter. He's actually. I'm gonna say Laporta's got to be one of those prospects that not that he's under the radar because everyone knows how great he's having a year, great year he's having. Sorry, but in 3-4 years time, we could be talking about him in the Kelsey, Gronk category.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really mad at you, Adrian, for telling me to bet my rent on Jaden Reed receiving yards.
Yeah,
but you kept that one to yourself. You kept that one in the holster.
It was a last minute thing. I was like, sometimes sports bet is yours would be DraftKings or something.
Yeah.
You're betting it's just a couple bucks extra, and like so to make it even, it's like, oh well, I'll just put it on something.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, Laporta was part of that. And,
it's my weakness as a sports bettor. I had to learn like, the whole set limits thing is real. Those of you who are listening, don't just be like, oh, I feel like betting on this. Oh, I feel like betting on that, because it adds up. I got an app that tracks my ins and outs, and I had 1 month where I was like, oh wow, that's why I had to sell a kidney this month.
Where's Chase at?
You can only sell one. You can only sell one.
I didn't realize how much it was, but you get responsible with it. You start tracking it. I'm hot as a pistol. I'm having a good January. Okay.
Love it.
I want to say on the Baltimore Texans game, I really thoroughly enjoyed the game that the Bucks Lions game. That was a great game.
Yeah.
As far as the other game, I just felt like the Texans, my team, my champion, I felt like their conservativeness and passiveness cost them that game. D'Amico Ryans was not being aggressive on 4th downs. He was not being aggressive when he needed to be. And I think that that's the reason why we're talking about the Ravens in the next round. Because I think they were close enough. What was it, like 17-10 at half or 10-10 even at half, right?
Yeah, it might have been 10-10.
And then it felt like Harbaugh knew when to push the needle because it's the playoffs and the margins are slimmer, and felt like D'Amico didn't.
Yeah, first game in a few weeks too for them. So
yeah,
for the Ravens.
Yeah.
They had played in 3 weeks, but yeah, the Texans had like 11 false starts or something. They had like so many penalties, dude. It was absolutely atrocious.
They just felt respectfully like they just weren't ready to be there, and that's okay. They I mean, much like your Packers, Adrian, I think they were happy to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that kind of thing. Okay, boys, we have Championship Sunday to talk about. I'm going to let one of you guys take the lead on these games because I ranted about the Bills a lot. Go crazy and I'll catch up.
Amy, you want to take this or shall I take this?
Chiefs at did we want to talk about coaching changes at all, or are we?
I'm down.
Maybe why don't we come back to it depending on we're going for time at the end.
Yeah. It's early and we only have 2 games to talk about, so we definitely could get to that.
Okay. Yeah. So Chiefs Ravens, man. I've been high on the Ravens all year, and I feel like people have been talking about it to the point where like the Ravens are like very good on paper, and I think on all fronts they're the better team. I think we can all agree. I think that's been kind of the narrative going into the weekend. But then they're just like, but Mahomes. Like do you really want to go against Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swifties? I mean, do you want to pick against them? I'm not too sure. I don't think they've played since 2021 when Lamar Jackson had like a few touchdowns against him, 100 yards rushing. But there's 2 top defenses here. I mean, I'm gonna pick the Ravens just because that's what I feel in my heart, and I feel like the Lamar has been balling out. I think he's playing his best year so far, and I think he continues that. But I think what's going to lead him to the Super Bowl is the defense, right? Roquan Smith has been a baller. Ray Lewis is going to be at the game. That's just Roquan Smith is playing like Ray Lewis right now. So Ray Lewis is going to give him a little pep talk before the game, and they're going to go in firing on all cylinders, and the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs will not be there. So that's just how I feel.
It.
But
what's your score?
27-21 Ravens.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on the defenses here, and I think Ravens have the better defense. The Patrick that the Chiefs have to worry about is Patrick Queen playing out of his mind at the moment.
Yeah, Patrick Queen too.
And probably going to be done with the Ravens after this year. I think he's hitting free agency next year. I think the Ravens defense just like suffocates teams, and I think that's what they did to the Texans in the second half. And it's like there's just nowhere to go. And it's not just, and I'm not calling the Texans subpar, but it's not just subpar teams. They forced 4 interceptions from Purdy in that game against the 49ers where they just rolled. Mike McDonald, their DC, who I know he's been getting some looks for head coaching roles, is a master of disguising the coverage. Now you're up against Patrick Mahomes, who can generally diagnose some certain things or not get caught off by post snap sort of motion or whatever. But I do think that the Ravens defense is really going to have their way a little bit here. Mark Andrews is back. That's massive for Lamar. I think both defenses are susceptible to the run, and Ravens have the number 1 running game at the moment in the league. So I know I don't know if you guys have one for this, but I asked I'm watching. I asked the boys Kevin and Himi to come with some props, and we'll put together a little legit full like football parlay. So I'm going to throw money in right now. Lamar Jackson over 65 rushing yards. It's minus 130 at the moment, and I think
you stole mine, bro.
Bet the rent.
Oh no!
Bet the rent. Bet the
and
rent.
Also, side note, shout out to Daniel Nasser showing some love from Facebook. Yeah, he was with me watching that Packers game, and he was just my rock.
Love you, bro. I love you, Daniel. Thank you for being there for Adrian. I wanted to be. I gave him a virtual shoulder touch. So yeah, I just really quick to get my thoughts in on this before we move on. Did you give a score prediction, Jimmy, or either of you, or
I didn't.
You didn't. Go ahead, Age.
I'll say 26-24 Ravens way.
Ooh, really close. Really close. What was Jimmy's?
27-21.
Also Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk about Mahomes, right? You guys know how I feel about Mahomes personally. Not a big fan. But he's the GOAT. Or he's the greatest of right now. He's the Gorn. He's been absolutely dominating. He's been lights out. I'm so like, it's one of those things where like I'm sad I'm watching him in real time because he makes me sad because he beats my team, but I'm happy I'm watching him in real time because he's just a phenomenal football player. Yeah, there you go.
McFadden there.
AI McFadden agrees. So I have torn feelings about this game, right? Because I do think that just like I said about the Bills, there's a chance that Mahomes goes out there and is the best player on the field once again and does enough to will the Chiefs to a win. Seems like that's what Armand wants. Armand, you're really cramping our style here, like being all pro Chiefs, man. If you're not a Chiefs fan, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But the Ravens are they've been the juggernaut all year. And sometimes the juggernaut doesn't go, but more often than not, the juggernaut does go. So I personally think that I'm going to pick the Ravens to win this game. I think it's going to be a little more high scoring than you both forecasted. I'll say 31-27 Ravens. So I guess that means they're covering and the over. So Ravens cover, over, and yeah, look for Lamar Jackson to just run all over.
Pick one you prefer. Pick one you prefer, Ravens covering or over.
Oh, well, if I'm doing my prop, I have a different one. I prepared on Prize Picks for this. Not a sponsor.
Should be though.
I would probably go with the Harrison Butker field goals line. It's at 1.5. I think Harrison Butker kicks two field goals in this game. I think the Ravens will bend but not break, and I think they'll stiffen up in the red zone.
What was Adrian's face there?
Yeah,
no. But 1.5. Sorry, that was at the 1.5. I'm like, he's definitely getting.
Oh, okay.
I think so too, but you always think that, right? That's usually the line for kickers because you always think that, and then sometimes they don't. Like it's a shaky bet, to be honest with you.
Yeah. The thing is, everything you said is absolutely right. As in, you can never count out Patrick Mahomes. I didn't mention Joe Tooney might be out for this. That makes a big difference on their offensive line, which is already.
I think he is out. He is out.
He's out.
Him and Sky Moore are both ruled out.
Sky Moore, it's a benefit.
Yeah.
And there's George. Now let me get this right. Womack. I hope I pronounced
that
right.
George Womack.
with the Super Bowl logo predicts the colors
Case
predict the teams.
closed.
I will say, right, is that you're right. The juggernaut. See, I talk about going to the dance. Anyone who should be going to dance should be going to dance. But Patrick Mahomes is just that dude. He's like, not only does he take your spot at the dance, he steals your girl, and there's rumors that he's sleeping with your mum. I'm not saying that from personal experience. I'm just saying
I
that's what it
am.
feels
I
like.
can say that from personal experience.
Do you want to talk about it?
No,
That's what the whole opening part of the
this is
show
our
is.
therapy for.
Okay,
This is our therapy. But it's hard to count out Mahomes, and you're right. This should be the Ravens game, 9 games out of 10. But the odds that this comes down to the last man holding the ball and it's Patrick Mahomes and he gets him in field goal range for a 1-point win, or
Possible.
puts a walk-off touchdown. It's so possible.
Yeah.
And it's what's so maddening, because you can analyze the tape for the entire season and you still won't know what the Chiefs are going to be doing.
Yeah, we saw a different Chiefs team last week. I think you can call it an awakening. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm wish casting, but Ravens flock. Hashtag Ravens flock. Let's go.
Love it. I think if we get the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I've got a plan. We need some sort of elaborate parent trap kind of scheme to get Taylor Swift to change alliances and maybe go for Jared Goff or Purdy, whoever it is. I feel like Taylor Swift is what's driving the NFL to push Mahomes through.
I think it's possible. I do
some
think
sort
it's
of
possible.
parent trap scheme.
Yeah.
It's got to be super elaborate.
All right. Jared Goff looks like Ryan Gosling. So if it's Goff, we have more of a chance.
Yeah, I think he's better looking.
Brock Purdy looks like a teenager, so we're gonna need it to be the Lions. That's
on the stud rankings. On the stud rankings, you got to put Jared Goff above Kelsey, I think.
Oh, I don't know, because I never. This is a little tangent here. I never thought Kelsey was all that, but I was watching football with a bunch of women recently, and they were all like, "Oh my God, Kelsey's so hot, yada yada." So I guess Kelsey's like hot. I guess it's news to me.
I feel like, right.
I always thought he was a bit of a doof.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm married. My wife is watching right now, but I still feel like I can tell when a dude's good looking. Like there's no problem calling out when a guy's really good looking. I just don't think Kelsey's got it. He's tall.
I think part of it is his swagger too, right?
Tall, yeah.
Like he's a swagged out dude. Like he's fresh.
This is the new show. Can we just stud rank the entire NFL for the rest of the show?
Josh Allen number 1, Stephon Diggs number 2,
Gardner Minshew number 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
he's got some appeal. He's got
a flow, man.
He's got that live out of a van appeal.
The flow is just here. That's where his flow is.
Yeah.
We have a game to talk about. Who wants to?
Oh wait, before we move on, Jimmy, did you have a prop for?
Yeah, I do.
Ravens?
Yeah, I have Rashee Rice over 6.5 catches. I feel like he's hit that in 5 of his last 8 games, and I feel like the Ravens might put some pressure on. I know, but he's hit it.
High line.
He's been hitting it. I don't know. I just feel like they'll lean on it, maybe run some screenplays, get him the ball, but I'm for it. I also had Lamar Jackson rushing touchdown. I feel like that's a possibility too.
Definitely.
With the Chiefs defense, they've allowed the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback since 2019. Please
well,
gamble responsibly.
1-800 Gambler?
1-800 Kevin Phillip Fox.
1-800 Kev.
It should be on speed dial, but it's not. You guys should know I'm putting real currency on a parlay for everything we say here. So if anyone lets me down, I will be coming with fire and fury next week.
Well, look in the mirror, brother. You're the one who set Jaden Reed over, bro. Come with fire and fury.
What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Who's kicking this one off?
I'll jump in this one because Himi took the last one.
Take it over.
All right. So I think, look, similar to the last game, I think all of America and the world want the Lions to win this game. It's probably going to be the Niners. There's the pass defense is probably the weak point here for the Lions. The secondary lets a bit through. Pass rush has turned up lately. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Hutchinson's got his jets back on and he's getting into the backfield.
Unreal stretch that Hutchinson's on right now.
Yeah, and because he kind of tapered off a little bit, but I feel like he's come back to play. I know Dan Campbell talked in a recent presser saying that they want to stifle the run game. That is a big piece because if you watch the Packers game last week, McCaffrey at any point, and I feel like we held him okay. He burst through and that's it. He was in the end zone twice. If I'm not wrong, he's just At any point you can be on the 20 your own 20-yard line and he can get into the end zone. So stopping that run is probably the biggest piece for them. Problem with it being is that they've still got Ayuk, they've still got Kittle, Juwan Jennings stepped up last week, had some amazing catches actually. So look, I think that the way to beat the Niners is via the run, similar to the Ravens and Chiefs. That's generally how good defenses go. And the Lions have got that. I think Jahmyr Gibbs will have a big game. My prop here is David Montgomery, anytime scorer. That's plus 130 at the moment. And I think it's going to be Braun, this sort of physical Braun style playing versus finesse to Shanahan and his scheming up. Because the thing is, Debo might be out, but they've just got so many weapons. What's that? Oh,
Debo's not out. Yeah, it was like 10 minutes before we started.
There you go.
That's look at our mom, Mr. Current Affairs, making me look out of date. So that they've got so many weapons. Their pass rush is really strong. Jared Goff has the biggest drop off of passer rating under pressure in the NFL. So not under pressure is 116.8, under pressure is 62.2. That's the biggest drop in the NFL. So the 49ers pass rush is going to play a big role in making Jared Goff uncomfortable. I think the Niners take this one 31-27. And I can't believe I'm saying this as an NFC North, whatever you want to call them, NFC North rival, but I hate that. I want the Lions to win.
But you picked the Niners, right?
I think they're going to win. And actually, just a little bit of fire and fury out to Packers Twitter, because they're coming on anyone who wants the Lions to win. It's like, dude, the Lions have done more to help the Packers than what the Niners have done to hurt the Packers in the past decade. So, like,
yeah.
I can't swear on this show, but like, take a hike, dude.
It's like little brother syndrome. Like, why are you going to punch down? Like, they've been,
yeah.
Like, that's how I feel about Armand's Jets. Like, okay, like chase your tail in the corner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come beat us, come take the division, and then I'll hate you. But right now, I don't even think about you. You're not even on my radar. Like, that's how you feel about the Lions. You're like, they've been too bad for too long for you to have any sort of bad blood towards them.
I'm kind of happy that they like, if I was going to have a team do this, I don't think I'd be the same level of happy for the Vikings or the Bears, but the Lions, I don't know, I love Dan Campbell, something about him. Obviously, connection to Ant Wainer here. Our
producer, we love Ant. Yeah, we got to be doing this for Ant. I mean, he's got to be a big part of the reason why we're all rooting for him, for the Lions.
All that said and done, like I said, 31-27, I think the Niners take this, though.
So you're taking the over and you're taking the Niners to cover?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, is it? No, Niners are 7 points.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, to not cover. The Lions to cover.
Not cover.
There you go. Can't hate Dan Campbell. Couldn't agree more, George. Detroit needs to control the ball and burn the clock to stand a chance. Yes. Shorten the game.
Yeah,
that should
completely
agree
with that. Yeah, it
feels that works so well for the Packers.
Himmy, take it away.
Yeah, before the wild card round, I was like Lions, Rams. I think one of these teams could take over or beat the 49ers. I was like somebody like whoever's winning this game could beat the 49ers. I mean, the Lions rookie class, as I talked about earlier, has been tremendous, even on the decent defensive side of the ball. And then they have Aiden Hutchinson, who has been, like Adrian said, has been absolutely balling out. I feel like he's reached another level like the second half of this season, just like the Lions have. But I feel like the Lions defense is their fault in this game. They've allowed 345 plus passing yards in their last 5 games. They make a lot of big plays. I mean, Gardner Johnson gets some picks here and there. Brian Branch makes some big hits. But as a whole, I just feel like that'll be what trumps them. I feel like they'll try to control it on the ground, but then the 49ers will come out and just get like a 70-yard touchdown, at least like once this game. So that's kind of what I foresee. It will be interesting. I saw a stat that last week 49ers blitzed 40% of the time. Their average is like 20%. So we'll see if that's something they do or what their kind of game plan is going into this game. If they play it safer, if they try to get to Jared Goff. But I mean, same thing as Adrian. I'm rooting for the Lions. I'm not going to say I'm not, but I actually picked the same score as Adrian, 31-27. So I'll just go 30-27.
There you
go. 30-27.
Got to differentiate somehow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say my pick is Amon-Ra getting the touchdown. So I guess we both have 49ers winning, but we're picking the Lions to score some points.
Dude, if we were on the prices right now, I'd be so upset at you.
Yeah.
And then prices where you just dropped my
He Price is Right violated you 100%. So this is going to be a great game. This is going to be so fun. I'm happy to see the Lions get there, man. And they got there with Goff. You know, I personally was very big pounding the table that Goff was not ever going to be the kind of player to get the Lions to the promised land. And I might have been wrong. I know he took the Rams, but they had McVay. They had a different kind of team. Goff might be a good quarterback in the playoffs. Like, Goff might be that kind of a player. And I think he's a big part of the reason why they're still around. I've personally dubbed this game a game manager off. I think they're both elite game managers. Puck off. Too good to be puck. It's a manager off. You know, we're looking at two.
I need that as a sound drop.
Yeah,
manager.
Yeah, 100%. And they're going toe to toe. I think the 49ers getting Debo back, being for the most part pretty healthy. I think the 49ers are just. I think they've been on a crash collision course with the Ravens on the other side of the conference, and I think they have a little bit of a debt to collect from the regular season. So I think I'm going to stick my neck out and say that the 49ers are going to win this game. Like you guys are saying, three-way split.
We're all picking a rematch.
I just can't in good conscience pick the Lions to win the game. I just don't think they've done enough to show that they can go toe-to-toe with the 49ers. I think they'll put up a fight, though. And I think, unfortunately, Ant will probably have heart palpitations. But I think the Lions are going to win, or the Freudian slip. No, the 49ers are going to win this game. I'm going to say, hey, nice.
That's your Apple Watch.
It is. Oh, dude, the freaking Apple Watch. Dude, yeah, my Apple Watch was like, please check in on Adrian. I can feel his heart.
Did you guys see that? I sent a photo. There's a Niners fan next to me, and his Apple Watch was giving him the warnings. So he showed me, because he's a nice enough guy. Like, there was no malice. And I actually started laughing. And I'm like, just start throwing down.
Yeah.
No, I
make it be hard or bang.
Let me take a photo of your Apple Watch right now so I can send it to my podcast friends. Like, that has to happen.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think 49ers are gonna win. I'm gonna say let's say 34-28.
So we're all picking a rematch of the Hard Bowl. Nice.
And my parlay is going to be let me see the updated lines. I'm sure they're different with Debo and now. That's how serious I take this role of betting advisor, because I'm going to make sure you get up to the date advice.
While you're looking it up, can I ask a question to you guys?
Yeah. No.
Do you think Goff? I mean, look, I think Goff's obviously back next year, but do you think Goff is their future? Should they draft a rookie? Should they go for something next year?
They have Hendon Hooker in their back pocket. I don't know if that's something they want to bring out at some point. No, I mean, did you see he's on the injury report for a tooth injury?
Hendon Hooker?
You didn't hear that?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, do you guys want to take guesses on what happened to his tooth? I don't know.
Oh no, did he get punched?
No, I have no idea. I'm just genuinely. I was gonna spit you up for a joke. Yeah,
that's so funny. I think I'm gonna go with Brock Purdy under 281.5 passing yards. It's just too high for a game manager.
How much?
Game executive.
How much? What?
How much? What was it? Under
281.5. Got to be under. Has to.
I like to call them game executives.
Game executive. Purdy qualified.
I forget someone. I heard someone say that. And I felt like these are the two quarterbacks that have been underrated like this whole season. But Jared Goff, like future, I'm not too sure, but I do think they have to roll with him at this point. I feel like he's played very well. I mean, I feel like he's played very well with the talent. I mean, obviously he has great talent around him. Both quarterbacks do, but like the future, I don't know. And I think it's always smart to pick up a quarterback. I mean, I think as a Packers fan, you can kind of agree with that looking like in hindsight.
Yeah, totally. I think it was, it might have been Bill Parcells who was like, you should draft a quarterback every year. You never know what you're going to hit.
Yeah, honestly.
Every year you should be drafting a rookie quarterback, even if it's in the 6th or 7th round.
I'm feeling the same way about, I would prefer the Bills to get a backup QB that's a rookie, so they have the deal, they have the chance to develop them underneath Josh. Yeah, I love that. I love the mindset. Fellas, we did it. We got through a breakdown of Championship Sunday. Plenty of time to spare. You guys have anything you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to talk about before we wrap this sucker up?
I do need to ask Jimmy's parlay very quickly, and then I can let you take it away.
Oh, that's
what happened.
Your parlay, have you got a bet for Lions 49ers?
Oh, a Monroe touchdown.
Oh, nice.
So we're picking the Lions to score.
Hey, is that you? That's a tough one. That's a tough parlay. You might not want to parlay it.
It is tough.
Throw singles on each of them.
You know what?
Or you could parlay. Are you doing full parlay or just in the same game parlay?
I just believe in you guys. So I'm putting them all on. Them all on, and I'll let you know. You know what? Actually, I'll let you know in person when I win, because I'll just
hey, send me a screenshot. I'll put some money on it too.
Yeah, I'm down. I don't have
more fun that way.
I don't have straight betting. I can't do the straight betting that you guys are doing, but I can do the props.
Oh, I got you. So LA.
Yeah, I know him. So this has been a great little championship recap.
Harbaugh.
I feel, Chargers head coach, pretty crazy. Belichick getting snubbed.
Do you want to quickly hit this?
Yeah, let's do it. We got Jim Harbaugh out of the Chargers. Let's do a quick out of 10 ranking of how you feel about the hire. Okay, Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I'm going to give it a 8.
Oh. Yeah. No, I'll give it an 8 because he's had success. I just don't like. I'm not a big fan of. I know he had success in the NFL with the Niners, but I'm just not a big fan of college success translating into the NFL. I know it happens sometimes, and
he took a team to the Super Bowl, brother.
Yeah,
and 3 NFC Championship games.
Yeah, totally agree with you. But I do feel like he's going to be one of those people. He's so high profile. He's going to have all the spotlight, and if anything goes wrong, it's like a Sean Payton, similar to Sean Payton. Like
exactly.
Yeah. So, based off what's available, I mean, there's a lot available, but I feel like this was like the hire for this carousel, like this season of coaching hires. So I have like 8.7. We're gonna go.
He's even going high. He's going even higher than.
I wouldn't want Belichick.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
Get there.
Well, you guys didn't give a decimal point, so I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Mine's 8.0.
Oh, okay.
Hard 8.0.
8.01 just to be above.
Price is right.
Yeah, 7.99.
So I'm shocked about Belichick. I want to say that really quick. Next up, we have Raheem Morris to the Falcons. I'm going to give this. I think that's 6.5.
That's why Belichick didn't get taken by the Falcons. I think their politically correct quote was he won't gel with the front office, which is basically saying we don't want the GM. We want the head coach. We don't want you as the GM.
Yeah. I agree.
Which I thought might be the issue. Yeah, I don't like Raheem. In fact, I'm even going to go lower than that. I'm going to give him a 5. Like, dude, get yourself an offensive. Like, he's going to bring. I'm think of the Rams' offensive coordinator name, Zach something, whatever it is. He's expected to bring him with him. But get an offensive head coach, man. You've got the weapons. Just get him. Make it work. So I don't like this one. I'll give it a 5. And he also had no success. Sorry, as a head coach previously, Raheem Morris did not do well.
Raheem Morris were second in line to get the Colts job, which is very interesting, right behind Shane Steichen last year. So I'll go a little higher. I'll say like 6.4 just because of that bias.
I like it. I think it's bias. I think it's good. I think it'll be better than Arthur Smith
they interviewed 14 people. So I mean, if he won out against 14 people and Bill Belichick getting 2 interviews, maybe
I remember they had like 8-second interviews or something like that.
I remember the year the Bills hired Doug Marrone. Everybody said, "Oh, they went to a buffet that had steak, lobster, clams, caviar, and they hired and they grabbed fried chicken." Like I feel like that's kind of a little bit. There's so many names in this coaching carousel that are great that are going to get left without jobs. Dave Canales to the Panthers. I'm going to give this one a 9. I really like what I've seen from Canales
so much.
And I think he's going to do the right thing for Bryce Young and get them on the right track.
I love Dave Canales. And mostly because, look, I was never a big Juno guy. Huh? Oh, no, I do. No, I was not a big Juno guy, but then he turned Juno around. He turned Baker around. I love Baker.
He's the quarterback
I love
whisperer.
Dave Canales. Yeah, so I really do hope he's got a long and successful career as a head coach. I hope he's not one of those guys that steps in and it's too big for him.
Yeah.
But I do love this pick.
Yeah, I'll go 8.5.
Yeah.
8.5. What Adrian said. I mean, he's worked Geno Smith. I mean, he has the track record, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield. So
Bryce Young.
He was kind of a sneaky hire. Bryce Young, yeah, sneaky hire. I feel like nobody really expected it, but I'm kind of excited for it. So.
And last but not least, the Titans have hired Brian Callahan, former OC of the Bengals. Age?
Look, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 because he's done well. The line's stepped up significantly under Brian Callahan. I know his dad is the line coach of the Bengals, so hopefully he can bring him with. So I like the hire, or I don't hate the hire. I don't love it. I don't know why it is. To me. You had Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm holding on to that. Maybe I loved Mike Vrabel so much. He was such a leader of men that I don't like that you've now kicked him out for an OC unproven.
6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take by my 7. I'm going to drop it to 6.
I'll go 5.1. I mean, an OC that hasn't been calling plays. He'll be calling plays with the Titans, so we'll see how it goes, what he learned at his time with the Bengals. So we'll see, but yeah, it's kind of unproven. He worked with Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow. He said he's excited to work with Will Levis. He was with Peyton Manning in the Broncos a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Guys, I'm glad we had a chance to touch on the coaching carousel. It's going to be really fun. Quarterback carousel coming soon. Next week, we have our initial Super Bowl preview. And the following week, I've confirmed the date with our special secret sauce guest that nobody knows who it is. They're coming the Friday before the Super Bowl. So, ladies and gentlemen, you won't want to miss it. Adrian and Jimmy, anything you want to say to the good people of Legit before we sign off?
Is it Anthony Richardson? Is he the special guest?
It's supposed to be a surprise. Don't say it.
Okay.
I'm not saying it.
Cut it.
Mine is go bet the rent on this parlay. Just trust us.
I love it. Go bet the rent.
Don't just put your trust in us. Put your money in us because we will deliver.
Wait, real quick. Commander's Ben Johnson.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah,
I think that's
Seahawks. Belichick.
Dan Quinn.
Don't leave my man without a job. Don't leave my man without a job.
Was Dan Quinn the favorite for the Seahawks?
I don't know. I feel like he's been talked about.
He's just calling a shot. All right,
Mike McDonald, maybe. We'll see.
This has been the Legit Football NFL podcast. We are out.